I talked to clubs who got approached. When I was in Kenya, in Nairobi, one year ago, I met a player who came 4 hours by bus to Nairobi to see me. And he had the invitation from Werder Bremen, he said. And he was proud, and he will show me like, Erkut, I'm going to Germany for trying. Then I look at the papers, I was like, wow, like, and I was thinking first was, you must be a good player, right? I was like, I didn't even think about the invitation. I was thinking, you must be a good player, like, and then I looked again. Like the Werder Bremen sign was a little bit like weird, right? And I'm like, then I asked people at Bremen, I said, oh, you guys invited this player? I've seen that. Said, no, we didn't invite anyone. So that player already paid $3,000 to these people.
$3,000. That's a lot of money for an African boy.
It is collected.
Yeah.
Yes, it is collected, he said, by the people in the village together, that money.
Okay.
Everyone gives something, and then they do it. So that boy will go out, he make money, and he will look after the family, or he will look after the whole village. That's how they go. And a lot of these kids, they end up in Europe somewhere, illegally then. And live illegally, they can't go back because they're ashamed. You understand? And you're talking about 15,000 to 20,000 every year falling into the scam. If you go to Brussels, to Paris, you'll find these kids, right? It's unbelievable. And everyone, so that's why my research says, why is there no, like, what kind of regulations do we need, or what's the legal aspect of that? So I'm a lawyer as well, so I'm trying to understand. And then, so everyone is putting the fault into the shoes into someone else. So FIFA says it's not our responsibility, it's the local government, I think. And the local government says it's not our problem, it's FIFA problem. And then they say it's UEFA problem, and it's European football. And then they say the embassy's fault. And then they say, so everyone blames someone else, and nothing changes.
It's nobody's fault.
Yeah, it's nobody's fault, and nothing changes. And the problem has happened to these kids, that they end up or going on these journeys of, some kids had so bad journeys. Some kids ended up as sex slaves in Europe, in London. There's a real case, right? Became a sex slave, a boy, for like parties, and they was dragging him to places, with older men and stuff. He got finally out of that runaway, and because he had no passport, nothing, don't know proper the language, and like, it's unbelievable, these stories, and they're real stories, and I want to shine a light on that story. And I think we can't look away. They're like human beings, they like they're kids, they're like, and football is kind of doing that to them. We need to educate them on the ground, we need to help that they're not going into these journeys to come to Europe and become a football player. It's getting worse every year, and by the numbers are growing in football, and by the African players playing more in these leagues as well, more players or have the dream to come over, right? It's all about. So when I was in Accra, for example, in Ghana, someone said when a player, I think it was Michael Essien, I think he signed a contract with Chelsea for 70,000 a week at the time, right? So it changed Accra, Ghana overnight, because everyone was seeing £70,000 a week. You know what that meant? Overnight, he said, academies started in Ghana, all over. People were saying, okay, let's create a football academy and get these players in, and the player had the dream. Oh, he gets it. I can get it too. Like, it's like as if everyone. It changed overnight. Like, one Ghanaian football player starts earning 70, and it's in the news, and it's just like it reformed the country in football. Everyone has now the dream. Every kid wants to be there. So and certain people between using this against the kids, right? Instead of educating them, they use the situation and creating this on-street academies, which are not really academies, and selling this dream to these kids, which is, of course, it's not possible. How many of these millions, 0.001 make it, you understand, to become on that level.
Yes.
To have an earning, we never need to work again. Most of the players never get to that level. We're talking about most of the players playing amateur or in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th division. I got a lot of emails. I'm player here. Can you find me clubs? So I'm also teaching. That's a good thing. African agents, right? I think we need that as well. We need educated. One is in my course right now. He's a lawyer in Lagos, Nigeria. He's a sports lawyer / I'm teaching him to learn the agency work, so he can then educate families and kids over there on the ground and clubs as well, and say, look guys, this is realistic, or you need to focus on education as well, or whatever. And so really we need people who really work with these kids on the ground. So we need to educate, and help them to talk to their own people. It doesn't work other way. So people on the ground need to be educated and need to know that this is just a dream which will not come true for most of them. It's very simple. If you live in a country which have a good education, a good football league as well, good income as well, why would you want to leave? Right? If everything is good, if everything is clean and everything is nice, and you can make a living by playing football there as well. So you need to make your own, first of all, good enough, so that they don't want to get out there with first thing and go into these very dangerous trips through north of Africa and then go into ships. They try everything, because they have nothing to lose. So you don't provide them with the necessity over there, so they will try. Everyone, look, my parents are immigrants, right? They immigrated into Germany from Turkey because the financial situation wasn't good. So at the time there was a process, Turkish workforce coming to Germany because they lost so many men at war. So it was a clean way to come over, right? But they're coming dangerously, illegally over. That's different. It's dangerous. It's not easy for them, and then they're falling into these hands of these, this trafficking people, which is even more dangerous. So it's a different way. In the end, we are nowadays in the global world. We are all immigrants. Like, I live in America. Everyone is an immigrant. There is no American means actually being an immigrant, right? So the real Americans are the Indians. They're the ones that lived before everyone else. And now people living here and saying, I'm American, you're not, you're whatever. That doesn't exist actually. They're not. We are all immigrants. It's a country built of immigrants. Yeah, I personally haven't seen their academy, or there's some other academies working close with football clubs in Europe. I've never been to them, and to have an eye, I can't say anything about that, how good that is, how not good that is.
Okay.
I think if they do it, it needs to be in a good way, like where with education, the kids are educated, and tell them, look, how many of them made it in the end? Just very, very few of this. But I think there's a duty for us, I think, to educate them and teach them. Right, even if they not become a football player, at least they're good for the society and valuable and knowledgeable. Still working in sports, maybe in football, become a lawyer, working in a club, become a coach. You don't have to become a football player. You know what I mean? So we need to educate them into that way. They can still work in sports, I think.
Yeah,
I'm not a good scout, so just to let you know, I don't have the eyes to find the talent. I'm not that person. Also not in my agency. I'm the one who does the contracts and to negotiate contracts, right? I'm the one who have relationships and built over 20 years. Yeah. My job is to secure good deals for the players, but there are people who are scouts. They know what scouting is. They know how talents are, in which age. So they're experts. It's not me. It's not my job. I could never do that. My job could be if someone would say, hey, can you help them to create them a better environment in sports with regulations and more protective? This is something I could work in and give my expertise and help to give a better environment for them.